Don't lose tens or hundreds of thousands of euros on the property you purchase in Portugal. Now, the big reason for this and why people can lose this amount of money is because there is no escrow in Portugal. And if you have not set up everything correctly, then you may lose money, such as your 10% or 20% deposit on a property. Hi guys, it's Russell from Portugal Buyers, where we help you move and purchase property in Portugal with ease. So the first major step in the property buying process is signing the CPCV contract, also known as the promissory contract here in Portugal. So once you have done all your property tours, found the perfect property for yourself and done the negotiation on the property, so you've found a great price on it, you will then be signing this contract. Now this contract is drafted up by either your lawyers on the buyer's side or either the seller's lawyers. Now this contract should be done, and you should request it to be done in both Portuguese and in English, so you can read all the terms and conditions in there, because it is very important that you fully understand what you're getting yourself into, and you can ask questions to your legal representatives or buyer's agent if you have any of those that come up. Now, the standard deposit amount on this CPCV contract is around 10 to 20%, although it typically is on the 10% side. Now, this can be negotiated in and along with the price of the property, along with other contingencies as well that can go in the CPCV. So let's say the seller of the property wants 10% as a deposit. You may negotiate with them and offer a 10% deposit. Now this, and some sellers even request a 50% deposit in very rare cases, but it can happen. So all of this can be negotiated along with terms such as what furniture is included in the property, if they have to do any maintenance or construction or knockdown work on the property prior to you purchasing it. So there are many contingencies that you can put in the contract, and we help all of our clients with that and save them a lot of time and money through this CPCV contract. Now, I get a lot of questions about whether you need a lawyer or not for the whole buying process, and in specific, this CPCV contract. Now, it is not necessary, as the seller's agent and the seller's lawyers are able to draft the CPCV. However, I 100% always suggest getting a lawyer. And for our clients, we always get them a lawyer, and everything is set up like that, just because it's a big financial investment for you, and it's very important that everything is done above board. You understand what you're getting into, because if you get in a horrible situation that can cost you a lot of time, money, and a massive headache, it is really not worth it. And in Portugal, you come across many properties that are illegal, don't have the right documentation, and all of this you can bear the burden of. So be very careful, and I 100% recommend you getting a lawyer and legal representation for this process. It is well worth every single penny and will save you money in the long run. Trust me. A question I get very frequently is it necessary to do the CPCV contract? In short, it's not. You can go straight to the deed. The deed of sale is where you'll transfer all the funds over to the seller of the property, and then you can put the property in your name and you'll be the legal owner on the spot. Now, the seller may suggest doing this because it can save on legal expenses on their end and potentially on your end, but I strongly advise against this, as having the CPCV contract in force and in place can be a great advantage for you, as you can clearly set the terms and it takes the property off the market while you are organizing the dates for the deed. Because if you have the deed set 1 month out and the seller still wants to sell the property, they are able to sell the property within that 1 month until you have signed the dotted line and sent all the money over to the seller. So this means you could lose your dream property 1 day before you sign the deed. Now, this is not ideal, and there are many situations that you are also not protected if you do not sign the CPCV contract. So if a seller's agent or a seller is trying to go straight to deed, be wary, although some situations could warrant it and it is okay, but we always go through the CPCV contract for our clients, as we believe you are more protected doing that, and in 99% of the cases you will be doing this. But there is a possibility in case you do want to go straight to deed. Another reason the CPCV contract is very important, because it puts everything down on paper. Now, let's say you go to view a property and everything looks spectacular about it, but you haven't done a survey or got an inspection on the property yet. Now, let's say you want to take the property off the market and you go ahead and sign the CPCV contract, even though you may see a slight defect on the property or crack in the wall that could be very substantial, or it could be very minimal and it's no problem at all. Now, if you sign the CPCV and put the right contingencies in there saying that upon a inspection by a licensed inspector and everything is completely fine and it's all just minor cosmetic things, then you can go ahead with the purchase. But if it is something more substantial and could cause you a lot of money and expenses if you go ahead with the purchase, then the contract can be completely nullified. Now, a seller's agent in this situation may say, oh, don't worry, everything's fine. That crack is absolutely nothing. It's purely a cosmetic defect and isn't something substantial or wrong with the property. This happens very often, so be careful of this, and the CPCV contract can help you, because let's say you don't want to do an inspection and pay for an inspection prior to going through with the CPCV because they could possibly sell the property in the meantime. And you don't want to lose out on the money that you spent on the inspection. You can always do this after the CPCV. It's a very common practice here, so this is another reason to get the CPCV contract done. Plus, there are, let's say you're wanting to get financing or a mortgage on the property, you can put the contingency in the CPCV saying that if the mortgage doesn't get approved for the property, then the contract can also be nullified as well. This can just have more protection on your end, which is important. So the CPCV contract should be set up where you have as much protection and security as possible in the purchase. It is also common to state what is left and what isn't left in the property. Let's say you buy a property that has a lot of old furniture, maybe because an older relative of the seller had just passed away and you don't want any of the furniture. You can make sure that that is fully taken out when you move into the property. On the other end of that, let's say you saw the property fully furnished and you expected that it will be fully furnished when you move in, but that wasn't specifically put in the CPCV. They may take everything out of the property, including the light bulbs and everything you can imagine. This is not uncommon here. So again, it's very important to put this in the CPCV contract so everyone is on the same page. Details that you can expect to find on the promissory contract are the names of the buyer and the seller and both their representatives, a description of the property's habitation license, and other necessary documents that come along with the property, such as any energy certificate. The sale price, of course, should be on the CPCV contract, along with the required deposit amount and how both of them should be paid. If anything else should be included, such as furniture, amenities, etc. The completion date and when the deed should be signed, so everything can be set up and organized by your seller's representative or buyer's representative. A note describing what should happen if there is a delay in the contract or somebody won't be able to meet those dates. And any additional contingencies that each party must meet prior to the signing in front of the escritura on the final deed. Now, there are thousands and thousands of properties transacted in Portugal every single year, and there is never an issue with it so long as you have the right representation on your side. Now, it's fundamental that you have representation on your end, such as a lawyer and a buyer's agent. I always recommend that for you, as you're going to be the most protected in those situations, so long as all the incentives are aligned with yours. If you're interested in using a buyer's agent, you can click the first link in the description below to book a free call with us, and we can help you out as an exclusive buyer's agent here in Portugal. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.